Coming up on CitySpan, St. Patrick's Day 2016 is in the books, and Savannah put on yet another queen-size performance. We'll take you on a tour of the full festival and a first-hand view of the parade and the city's involvement. Think purple and green. The city's wayfinding system is colorfully working in Savannah's historic district. We'll check in on some real heroes honored by Savannah's police chief for their bravery and the call of duty. Time to head to center court, literally. CitySpan is straight ahead. Hi everyone, I'm Ken Slatz, ready to take you through a half hour of news and information and some entertainment right here on your City of Savannah's news program, CitySpan. It's an event that involves as much as 70% of the City of Savannah's workforce, everything from police to sanitation and to park and tree. And while St. Patrick's Day may have come and gone for this year, city departments are already looking at the successes and hiccups of this year's festival to make plans for next year. CitySpan's Carol Miller has more.
From the greening of the fountains to one of the largest parades in the country and a multi-day festival downtown, it takes more than the luck of the Irish to pull off Savannah's biggest party. Logistically, it's easily the City of Savannah's most complex event. Marty Johnston, Assistant Deputy to the City Manager, oversees the city's involvement and says each year brings new challenges and lessons learned.
You know, this takes a lot of preparation before, during, and after, because we are coordinating multiple departments to make sure that everybody has a safe, fun time and that our city remains intact after all the revelers. So it involves police, fire, sanitation, the citizens' office, IT, departments you wouldn't really think about what their involvement would be. The parade obviously is always a challenge because we want to make sure we get people in and parked and ready to view the parade. We want them safely behind the barricades. We want the parade to go off smoothly and move along, and so that's always one of our challenges. It really is a gigantic operation underneath, but most people never see it.
From the parade, this year on a Thursday, to the festival, which ran into the wee hours of Sunday morning, this year's festivities went off, for the most part, without a hitch.
I think for Thursday, parade day, it was a great crowd. It wasn't as large as we've seen when it's a weekend parade, but that's not a bad thing necessarily. It made it easy for people to get in and out of the city before and after the parade, which was a good thing. And it made those on Thursday night that were local and here to celebrate a little more manageable crowd. Friday night was good. Saturday was our heaviest and busiest day in terms of our internal staff. That was our biggest day because it went pretty much all day, and I think we finally shut down about 4:30 or 5 o'clock Sunday morning.
Among those challenges this year, as it has been in years past, is controlling underage drinking, especially in the city's squares along the parade route.
You know, I really want to point out that during the parade we put some special focus, not a significant amount of police, but some emphasis on hot spots where we knew underage kids were drinking. And they made 8 arrests, which is a good beginning to start. I think that sends a message. We don't want young people out there that are underage drinking alcohol and not being in control. And so we view that as a good thing, as a good going into young people. You can't come out. This isn't just your free day to drink.
Also in use again this year, and a huge help in monitoring and controlling the festivities, was the ECC, or Emergency Coordination Center. It's a coordinated effort involving local, state, and even federal agencies to ensure the safety of the big party. Metro Police Officer Jason Pagliaro was at the commands this year.
It's a facility where we can handle the command and control of an incident as well as all of the background, the logistics, and the communications, and the response of the event as well. We had representatives from Georgia State Patrol were down here, Chatham County Sheriff's Department was down here, Southside Fire was down here, Savannah Fire was down here. Obviously, police was down here. We had 2 representatives from traffic engineering. We had water. We had CAT bus down here. Parking Services was down here to let us know the status of the garages and those facilities. So there was a person in every seat, to include SEMA was down here to represent the county emergency management as well. So we had a full partnership down here running, and we had GEMA came in from Atlanta to assist, and then we had representatives from Homeland Security as well.
While the parade and festival drew thousands of people downtown, most observers felt this year's crowd was smaller than in years past, which may have contributed to a reduction in crime. Arrests within the official control zone totaled 39 this year, down from the 48 last year and 64 in 2014. Fortunately, no violent crimes were reported. Reporting for CitySpan, I'm Carol Miller.
Thank you, Carol. Next year, St. Patrick's Day falls on a Friday. That'll mean larger crowds and plenty of weekend fun. The festival will definitely run the 17th and Saturday the 18th. Whether or not the Thursday prior and/or Sunday after will be added to the festival time, that won't be determined until early 2017. Most partygoers were sleeping in the wee hours of the morning. That's when the cleaning crews rose to the occasion. Each year during festival time, the massive cleanup on River Street and beyond begins right when the late night establishments close their doors.
The point is to have the next day to have it look like nothing happened.
Not an easy task for John Denyon and his crew, about 75 strong, hitting the streets well before the crack of dawn. Preston Waltower has been on the crew for more than 40 years.
Tried to get the crews in, say about 3 o'clock in the morning. The guys that we bring down are knowledgeable of the job, and once we get started, you know, with the blowers and the paper stickers.
Pick up all the litter baskets, change everything out, get all the heavy debris out of the way, and then the street sweepers will come in after us. River Street's the first objective because all the shops on River Street and all the businesses need to have their deliveries start coming in. And then we start heading up to do the rest of the city. All the lanes, all the streets, sidewalks, and rights of way are cleaned up. So we try to have the city looking as it should be by like 7 in the morning. We want to make sure that, you know, people have a good time, but when they come up and people come out the next day, it's usually a business day and a work day that, you know, the city is presentable and it's back to the way it should be.
Which demands all hands on deck for the sanitation department. You have the residential unit, recycling, street sweepers, commercial unit, and landfill department. It's an army at work. 2016 wasn't so bad, but that's not always the case.
There are times that it's just really heavy and really hard to get through. But generally we get good support from other city departments. The police department keeps people off River Street.
It's the end result that citizens and tourists see, which is a source of pride for Mr. Waltower.
Oh, it makes me feel good because anything come up or whatever, they'll call me. We'll go out and investigate it, or they'll send me out to investigate it. We get the job done and move on.
Our extended St. Patrick's Day coverage continues a little bit later on. We'll check in with the mayor and council.
St. Patrick's Day is a great day, even when you're not mayor. We're the hostess with the mostest, and this is what we do. We host parties.
And give you a float's eye view of the parade. That's in about 15 minutes on this edition of CitySpan. Finding your way around downtown Savannah getting a whole lot easier thanks to new signs that are going up. The signs are the result of the city's Wayfinding program that has been in the works since 2008. That's when the city and Savannah Mobility Management, with input from citizens, created a plan to address the confusing mishmash of signage downtown.
As part of that, we hired a consultant working with Sammy to move forward in developing the design for the program. The main thing about this program is eliminating that visual clutter and being able to provide people correct directions on how to get places.
With the wayfinding signage, we are creating a unified look in downtown Savannah. So when visitors enter the city for the first time, they will have gateway signs walking them to Savannah. Then they'll also get directional signage, whether to the visitor center, to the garages, and then eventually out on the streets walking.
In addition to using the recognizable icons, the signage has a distinctive color palette and a consistent style, all chosen to complement and enforce the city's brand.
So all the signage does tie in. We have dot signage, bus signage, the visitor center signage. It all ties into one unified look, essentially a branding Savannah. When you see one sign, you'll recognize the other signage. They do stand out. They also are reflective, so you can see them at night.
While the signs have been popping up in different locations over the past few years, like the city's parking garages, at shuttle stops, and in popular tourist areas, including River Street, the recent focus has been on the gateways into Savannah.
The most recent signage installation was along Oglethorpe, MLK, Liberty, as well as Drayton Street.
While most of the signs installed to date have been focused on vehicular traffic, plans are to add pedestrian-friendly signs into the mix.
The next steps are to install pedestrian signage as well as part of the program, which will also direct pedestrians around downtown Savannah getting to specific destinations.
The Wayfinding program was made possible through several partnerships. In addition to Savannah Mobility Management assisting in the funding process, the city also received a tourism development product grant from the state's Economic Development Department. SPLOS funds will also be used to fabricate and install additional signs. Traffic on 52nd Street just past the intersection with Montgomery is moving easier after city crews removed a damaged century-old oak tree early this year. After the removal of the tree, the city's traffic engineering department worked to restore the traffic lane on 52nd Street. It is a long-awaited improvement to the neighborhood.
It's a good thing that has happened since the tree has been removed. As the city promised, that they would restore the lane and make the lane straight, and that has been done. I've been going around the tree for so many years until it's a little hard right now to even think about just going straight.
I'm glad it's going. It's a big improvement to the street and traffic. Makes it easy for me to get out of my driveway, and I don't have to worry about it falling on me.
If you see a problem with a tree located on the city's right-of-way, call our customer service line at 311. You can also use the number to report potholes, streetlight outages, water leaks, and just about any issue related to city services. Time for a quick break, but still to come on City Span. Savannah's true heroes, honored for their actions. And later, time to hoop it up. The city of Savannah partnering up to bring in a top-notch collegiate tourney. The new Surface sealing the deal. Stick around. City Span will be right back. Welcome back to City Span. I'm Ken Slatz. Savannah's Police Department partnering up with the U.S. Marshals to take a big bite out of crime. The major operation netting 144 of the area's most dangerous criminals. The Marshall Southeast Task Force, along with SCMPD and the Sheriff's Office, holding a joint press conference to announce the major breakthrough. Savannah was identified as one of 12 focus cities in the nation. Gang members, sex offenders, murder suspects, and other violent criminals were taken off the streets of Savannah. Operation VR12 was a major success.
When we're able to arrest murderers who have been on the run and hiding for a period of time, certainly it makes our community safe. If we can have outside sources to actually arrest perpetrators and let them not stay out there. Our people did a remarkable job in terms of violent crime clearance last year. But we don't have the numbers to chase them down all the time when they go on the lam, when they're hiding. The Marshal Service is excellent at that. You know, from a prosecution standpoint, we've got to ensure that when we charge them only with state offenses, that they are not back on the street the next day.
The combined effort to arrest these criminals took place between February 1st and March 11th, again netting 144 dangerous criminals. Just a couple of days after the task force presser, Chief Lumpkin was honoring some of Savannah's finest in a ceremony at the Westin on Hutchinson Island. The annual Meritorious Service Awards, nearly 36 officers and civilian workers Honored for their courage and service, 14-year-old Tyquel Bryant received the Chief's Outstanding Youth Award, saving his brother from a fire. Several officers received awards of valor, medals of distinction, merit, excellence, commendation, and a couple of Purple Hearts.
These are the men and women, and it's a team effort that protect this community. 168 hours per week.
We're here to celebrate your bravery that many of us would not know how to even attempt to do, because we don't understand the process of running to danger rather than running from danger. But on the behalf of the city, I want to tell each one of you, we thank you for what you do. On behalf of the city, I want to tell the entire police force that not only are you appreciated, but you are also in our prayers every day.
Thank you for what you do, the sworn staff members. Thank you for what you do every day. And thank those who are not present in this room, because they support those that are going to be recognized today.
You can catch the full ceremony running throughout the month right here on SGTV, Comcast Channel 8, and on the City of Savannah's YouTube page. Savannah's Property Maintenance Department is taking an aggressive approach to eliminate blight. A lot of this responsibility falls under code enforcement. City Span's Lita Coleman takes us out on a Saturday Blitz.
This is where we really practice our craft. I mean, we're enforcing code, but we're also engaging in community relations, letting folks know what we're trying to do, and ultimately it's better for the whole neighborhood.
A lot of individuals still don't understand about improper parking,
which is one of the many challenges. You simply cannot park on your grass unless it's parallel to your driveway and within 5 feet. Other codes the enforcement staff works with are derelict vehicles, grass and tree overgrowth, and illegal dumping.
Number one goal is the voluntary compliance. So really more about education than enforcing people. I mean, we are out here to enforce the code, but a simple conversation, a little bit of education, and there's no need for the paperwork.
I like to believe that we are helping individuals. A lot of residents don't want their community to be overran with junk vehicles, overgrown grass. They want to live in nice communities.
These blitzes are random, a chance for the code enforcement officers to spend some quality time in the neighborhoods they are assigned to.
We'll be doing that more in the future. It gives us an opportunity to see people on their day off. Usually it's 9 to 5 and folks are not home, so it gives us a good opportunity to interact with folks, let them know what we're doing and why we're out here on the street.
Working on a Saturday has been very fruitful for us because we are able to communicate with the residents of particular areas and let them know what our concern is.
Since being within the department, I have seen the neighborhood move from the declining slope moving up to improvement. Lots of good things are happening out there.
What they're dealing with is very important and very personal. It's what belongs to the homeowner. And to say that they've violated some law or there's debris or it's in disrepair is a very sensitive topic for folks.
A topic that needs to be addressed. Savannah's code enforcement officers are doing their best to clean up the streets, one lot at a time. For City Span, I'm Lita Coleman.
You can see our half-hour code enforcement special airing on SGTV or visit the City of Savannah's YouTube page. For the past few years, the Globetrotters and their opponents were the only basketball teams to utilize the Savannah Civic Center. The reason? A very old, worn-out basketball court in use at the Martin Luther King Jr. Arena. But not anymore. The city partnered with the Savannah Sports Council and Visit Savannah to refurbish the old court. A brand new one would have cost nearly $100,000. So the city and the Sports Council split the cost of this $38,000 facelift.
We have basically a new court for half the cost, and so now we'll be able to do more than just Globetrotters and get some more basketball games in here like the tournament that they just announced. So it gives us a first-class facility at a small price. Some people will wonder, but this purple is part of, if you look around downtown, that's part of our wayfinding system, so it matches the colors that we already have. So I think it looks great.
It's all around the city. It's something people are starting to recognize with the purple and the gold and the green, and we tied the green into the city logo as well, so it looks really good, and makes the court really pop. We're going to be doing a collegiate Division I NCAA basketball tournament here the week of Thanksgiving. November 22nd through the 26th, we'll have eventually, hopefully, 8 women's teams and 8 men's teams playing here.
It's exciting because these teams will come, they'll enjoy Savannah, and I can see in the future that the Sports Council will probably have their pick of teams that would like to come.
To land some really big conferences, some big school names, some regional schools as well, it's really a nice blend.
Teams from Auburn, West Virginia, Georgia Southern, and Mercer are among the 13 committed so far. The council hopes to add a few more soon. It is the Collegiate Basketball Invitational. It's in Savannah. The date's November 22nd through the 26th. Each month on CitySpan, we team up with the folks at Bank on Savannah, an initiative of Step Up Savannah, to bring you easy tips and help you make the most of your hard-earned money. With more, here's Richard Reeve of Consumer Credit Counseling Services of Savannah.
A common savings tool is a bond. A bond is a loan that you make to a corporation or government. You are paid interest and will get your money back at the agreed upon time. Companies, municipalities, and governments use bonds to raise money for a variety of projects. Here are a few terms you need to know when buying bonds. The face or par value is the amount the bond is worth at maturity. The maturity date is when the bond is paid back. The coupon rate is the annual interest rate the bond issuer will pay. Callable bonds allow the issuer to retire the bond before it matures. There are several types of bonds. Some of the most popular bonds are the U.S. Treasury securities that the U.S. government backs. Another type of bond is the U.S. savings bonds, which you can purchase for as little as $25. There are also municipal bonds, which are offered by states, counties, and towns. Also, various companies offer corporate bonds. Here are a few pros and cons of bonds. Bonds can provide a level of income stability. You can purchase some bonds at tax time or through the U.S. Treasury Direct website. On the other hand, in the past, bonds have provided lower long-term returns than stocks. Bond prices fall when interest rates go up. Long-term bonds suffer from price fluctuations as interest rates rise and fall. To purchase anything besides treasuries and savings bonds, you may need to use a broker who charges a commission, a markup, or a fee. Bonds can be a good option when it comes to savings. Until next time, I'm Richard Reeve, and you can bank on this.
Thank you very much, Richard. Still to come, we'll check in socially with what's driving the media on Facebook, Twitter, and Savannah's web. Plus, plenty of Irish fun. Our mayor has some moves, so get a little closer to your TV set. More St. Patrick's Day shenanigans coming up on CitySpan, Savannah's source for news, information, and entertainment.
Are you a low-income homeowner in the city of Savannah? If so, you may be eligible for the city's free volunteer summer home repair program. Work may include ramp and fence repairs and exterior painting. Only single-story homes are eligible. Applications are being accepted through April 15th. For more information, call the City of Savannah at 651-6517.
Hi everybody, Ken Slatz here. Welcome back to CitySpan. Savannah has many wonderful neighborhoods, many of which are on the National Historic Register. We continue to celebrate the 50th anniversary of the designation of our National Historic Landmark District. Here's our latest installment of My Historic District. Hi, I'm Ken Slatz from My Historic District. At the turn of the 20th century, Mayor Herman Myers put together a committee to study the expansion of Savannah's city limits south of Victory Drive. Ardsley Park and Chatham Crescent subdivisions opened about a decade later, 1910. A stunning mixture of class and elegance in a neighborhood that really hasn't changed a whole lot over the last century.
We're a very preservation-minded neighborhood, so the houses have stayed largely the same.
Association President Amy Lee Copeland proudly boasts of the community she's called home for nearly a quarter of a century.
It's beautiful, the lovely homes, the parks, the azaleas, the friendly neighbors. It is just a beautiful community and a great place to live and raise a family.
The Ardsley Park subdivision was developed by Harry and William Lattimore based on Oglethorpe's downtown plan. Harvey Granger developed the adjacent subdivision of Chatham Crescent.
The parks are a very central hub of life in this neighborhood.
Chatham Crescent is anchored by the Atlantic Mall area, which leads to the largest building, now Savannah Arts Academy. Original plans were to open up Hotel Georgia, but the project was never finished, and 20 years later, Savannah High School opened up in the same spot. Ardsley Park boasts quaint squares off Abercorn Street. While the parks and sprawling live oak trees play a major part in the look and feel of the area, it's the architecture that gives this neighborhood its true charm.
You see some of the old houses from 1910, and then you also see some bungalows that look craftsman. Then you see a lot of the 1920s colonial. I know where the other 3 or 4 houses that look somewhat like my house that came from the same plan are in the neighborhood. And then you have outliers. My next door neighbor's house was a Sears house. The former curator of the Telfair lived there, and he had done a lot of research, and it was actually a kit home from Sears, Roebuck and Company. And it's great. They were really concerned about the Cold War though, so during that time someone had added a bomb shelter that was accessible through the carriage house, and I have actually been into an Ardsley Park bomb shelter, and once was enough.
Ardsley Park's northern border and the northern side of Chatham Crescent lies world-famous Victory Drive, an amazing stretch of landscape between the hustle and bustle of the area's busiest street.
There really is no prettier street in Savannah during the springtime when the azaleas are in bloom and when the weather looks like this, and we're all very happy to see it happen. There's also a fountain at about the Bull Street corner that I understand was a horse watering trowel, and we're all hoping that that gets preserved where it is and perhaps spruced up a bit.
Ardsley Park and Chatham Crescent listed on the National Register 75 years after it opened its doors. The neighborhood's residents continue to celebrate their national honor.
Well, I think there are tons of benefits of being listed on the National Register. I feel very fortunate to live in a neighborhood where everyone is very preservation-minded to begin with. I love not seeing that houses are torn down or that are remodeled beyond what they look like when they were built. I'm certain that being on the Historic Register gives that some oomph in the fight and helps keep the neighborhood looking the way it does.
Ardsley Park and Chatham Crescent subdivisions span almost 1,200 acres. With the architecture and the landscape and the preservation, it's one of Savannah's most beautiful areas. For My Historic District, I'm Ken Slatz. My Historic District will continue throughout the year, featuring several other of Savannah's neighborhoods on the National Historic Register. Next up, we're going to check in at Kensington Park. In March of 2014, the city of Savannah accepted the W.W. Law collection. Wesley Wallace Law was a major historian of African American culture, spending 26 years as president of the NAACP. Law's collection is well over 1,000 cubic feet, consisting of books, artwork, and papers. The city accepted this gift with the intent of making it available to the public. So far, artwork from the collection is on display at City Hall. There are also more than 1,000 photographs made available online and in the research library at City Hall. March 31st of this year, the King Tisdale Cottage Foundation opened up an exhibit at the Beach Institute from the collection of W.W. Law. The most significant portion of the overall Law collection is still being readied by the city.
And then we hope to get the NAACP collection open this year, which I think will be invaluable to researchers who are studying the civil rights movement in Savannah and Georgia, and just really looking at how our movement and our struggles were different in Savannah than maybe other communities in the South, and how Mr. Law was leading that movement and was really an instrument for change in Savannah.
Spraker and her staff continue to sort through and document all the works preserved by W.W. Law. Social media continues to play a huge role in the city's objective to keep you informed. Here's our social media guru, Saja Hours, tangled in Savannah's web.
Thanks, Ken. Well, what better time of the year to reiterate our web presence than right after Savannah's biggest party? St. Patrick's Day and beyond brought thousands of Snapchatters, tweeters, and Facebook junkies. Our site turned into a sea of green. Yes, the City of Savannah's Facebook page set the bar for city information and simple snapshots of partygoers of all ages. We provided up-to-the-minute info on city garage availability. Not surprisingly, several garages filled up quickly, especially over the weekend after the parade. An afternoon River Street pic urged Savannah's Vance McFarland to post, "Irish never quit until it's over." The United States Coast Guard Eagle, as seen in this Facebook post on our St. Patrick's Day page, provided a great backdrop to the party on River Street. It's not too early to stay informed. Don't forget to like our St. Patrick's Day page. It's facebook.com/savstpat. And of course, all the information you need to know is on our City of Savannah Facebook page and on Twitter. Just search City of Savannah. Tangled in Savannah's web, I'm Saja Hours.
Great job. Thanks so much, Saja. You know, St. Patrick's Day 2016 celebrated as usual by thousands of locals and visitors alike, lining the streets of Savannah to witness one of the world's largest parades. The city itself put forth another coordinated effort as hosts of this festive occasion. Right around 75 city employees, plus several aldermen and Mayor Eddie Deloach walked, rode, and jammed to the tunes of the city band, representing their hometown.
St. Patrick's Day is a great day, even when you're not mayor. So it's a wonderful day for me. I get to, shake people's hand, thank people for voting for me, and tell them I appreciate everything. I got my council people here that are with us.
It's amazing to see the organization that goes into it. I've heard about it, but seeing it firsthand is something else. It's a real honor to be part of this.
We could not do this without the efforts of our city employees. I am particularly favored, and I do favor the citizens, and not only the citizens, but the employees of the City of Savannah, because that's where I spent my career.
The morning started with the collective effort of city employees, family, and friends, topping off their St. Patrick's Day themed float.
The committee decided that we wanted to focus on the arts for the City of Savannah, and one of our employees thought that our city, our canvas would be a good tagline for that.
This is Savannah. This is certainly the best opportunity for the best of Savannah to get together. It makes us nationwide. People recognize that we have at least the second largest celebration in the nation. We're the hostess with the mostest, and this is what we do. We host parties.
This is what the world sees, and to be on a city float in the city of Savannah during the premier time of the year, it's fantastic.
Most of the aldermen took to the streets by feet. Alderman Johnson and Hall held down the fort high atop one of the 3 city entries.
As a small child watching this parade, as it unfolds every year, this is so exciting for me. I've been out here taking selfies and taking pictures of everybody, so this is very, very exciting for me.
I remember when I was a little kid, we'd come downtown and sit on the curb. My sister and I sit on the curb next to where my father worked and watch the parade. Of course, at that point, when the parade was over, the festivities were over, and it's so much bigger a thing now. Today, when everybody can kind of let go and all seems to be forgiven.
It's great to be able to host such a great party. It's wonderful to welcome visitors to our city, and we're always proud to show off the warm hospitality that we are so famous for in the city of Savannah. So it's a great day to be in Savannah and for all of us to be Irish for one day.
As you can see, pretty much everybody with the City of Savannah and beyond had a wonderful time at St. Patrick's Day 2016. I can't wait for 2017. All right, that is going to do it for this edition of City Span. Don't forget, for the latest news and information about the City of Savannah, keep it tuned to SGTV, visit our website, savannahga.gov, or follow us on Facebook and Twitter. Thanks for watching, and thanks for making Savannah your home.